Okay. All right. So thanks for joining us today for our last meeting of the year. And we're happy to have you. Um, just housekeeping real quick. We're going to place everybody on mute because we're recording. And for those who cannot attend, and you will be able to unmute yourself, or please feel free to use the text box, and we will look and if there's any questions there. All right. As a reminder, please put your name, company, and email and all that good stuff in the chat box so everyone can get to know you. All right. And again, thank you for joining us today. We are really happy to have you. These virtual meetings have been going on since 2021 during COVID and have been popular ever since. Um, I really have to say that we're really grateful to all of our speakers who volunteer their time and expertise to uh, bring you information and education. So with that, um, let me just find my notes here. Okay, so I want to introduce our speaker today, Drew Messina. Drew is the Vice President of Operations at Create a Card. Many of you may know him, some may not. But Drew is a member of the association. He is one of our vendor members, and he is leading the company's operations in branding and marketing for a very long time. We won't say how many years because then you'll try to guess his age. But anyway, I asked him to join us today so that we could have a conversation about, hey, tis the season for selling. So I'm going to turn it over to him, and I apologize for my voice. This is a good version of my voice because I've been sick, and I apologize. So I'm going to be quiet and let Drew take it away.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? As Paula, thank you, Paula. Thank you for the introduction. She said, I'm Drew Messina with Create a Card. We are a marketing company, full color concierge marketing company that has been with the transportation industry for almost 40 years. We're working with you guys to make you as marketable and keeping your best foot forward. Paula asked me to talk today about some brand tips for branding for success, what you can do to just differentiate what you're doing from what you should be doing potentially, how we could possibly, or you could help yourself. In
Come
addition
here,
to
come here,
quick
come here, come
wins
here.
at the end of the
Come here,
year.
Louie. Come
All
here.
right. I'm going to just switch over to a presentation here. So I'm just going to try to get this up here. Okay. Allow. Oh, no, it's actually not even going to do it. So it's not letting me do it. So
Okay.
hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to get it in here saying it needs to restart the Zoom, but I'll just do it basically if I tell you a little bit about ourselves, we'll go from there.
Oh, unless you
So
want to send it to me.
I can send it in. Sure. 1 second. Pardon this. Sorry.
No problem.
You know what? 1 second. Let me just log back in. I'll get right to you. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, perfect. Technical things happen and technical things will happen.
Now that he's here, how was that introduction or gone? How was that introduction?
Okay, I'm muting everybody. Another reminder, if you haven't put your name in there, please put your name in the chat box, the name of your company, where you're from.
While we're waiting, can we talk about karaoke machines and licensing?
No.
Okay.
There we go. That should work.
That was not funny. Yay, here's Drew.
All
Thank
right. So
you,
here we
Drew.
go. So a little bit about
Okay.
branding for success today.
Yay.
So to tell you about us, we are a family-run company. Arthur and Kathy started this company back in 1986. As they call me, I'm their retirement plan. or I like to say the new 2.0 version of Create a Card. We work with businesses in the transportation industry for almost 40 years, but we also do work with outside industries as well. So, for example, if your husband, your wife, your kids, or something need something, we work together because every company, no matter who you are or what you do, you will need to market your materials and your company in order to stay successful. Here's a quick little video, show you some stuff we do if you're unfamiliar. Yep. So some of the key things that we do here and that every company should be working with is you should go out when you're trying to market your company. There are different mediums. You shouldn't just attack it with a single aspect or just go for one idea. Facebook ads are great. Printed materials are great. Going out to street fairs, going out to wedding shows, going out to different events. Those are all great things if you do them in conjunction with the other. If you're doing just one thing, that may work, but what happens if that avenue dries up? What happens if that avenue no longer is effective? You want to make sure that you always have a multitude of avenues to go down so that you can always have new streams of revenue coming into your company. Things that you can get out there. Whatever you're doing, you want to make sure you leave your brand in your client's hand, that it's accessible to them, that they know who you are and how to reach you. Whether that be handing them a promotional item, being out at events. This way you have flags up, you have displays up, you have tents up, you have signs that you have outside of your building. If you have put them on street signs out on the corner of the road, if you're trying to market for an event, even at this time of the year, especially if you were doing Toys for Tots, if you're doing different things that coming up throughout the year, put that Toys for Tots. We're a donation site. It's really not that much work. It makes you a great person, but it also gives you free opportunities for branding. So you can get out there, say, hey, we're working with Toys for Tots. We're donating for the holiday season. Come to our we're collecting food for the food pantries. And it's sponsored by ABC Limo, sponsored by 123 Transportation. So this way, then they'll associate you with people coming to those events, people dropping those things off. They'll associate your brand with positivity, and that'll also help. Especially in this time of year, you always want to be looked at in a great light at the end of the year. Most so that people remember as they go forward and try to make their plans for the upcoming year, especially as they move forward. Printed materials are always essential. So as you go through printed materials, you want to make sure you get a business card. Want to make sure that you have materials to take home. So you're going out to this event. There's this huge event coming up for most of you have been there. If you haven't been there, the CDNLA shows. Those are great events. And if you show up to that event and you say, hi, my name is John. Great to meet you. Love you. This is awesome. Thanks. And then you go home. If you don't give them a business card, they're not going to remember you. I love when people say, oh, but I got the tap card. I'm cool now. I got those tap cards. And don't get me wrong, the technology is awesome. But when you meet a John or you meet a Nicole or you meet a Sally or something that is a generic name, you could have met 10, 15 of those people at the end of the show. And those shows fly by, events fly by, wedding events fly by, everything. You want to make sure that when they go home, they look in their, you may be in their phone as John, but I don't remember John's last name. I don't remember what company John was from. So therefore, then if I have a business card, a physical card on my desk to go, oh yeah, that's the one. And if it has your picture on it, that also helps. Brand coordination, you want to associate the person and your brand. This way people can call you and they know they want to build that relationship. And when you're out there, when you're out doing your different events, you want branded apparel. You want stuff that's either a hat, a vest, a shirt, something that associates you with your brand. So you're not just some guy, girl, or mascot out there looking, trying to brand and trying to say, I'm part of this company. You're part of them if they show you who you are and you don't have to guess. Digital advertisements are also very important, whether you're doing it into magazines, you're going into digital versions, you're doing e-blasts, things of that magnitude. Those are all essential resources that you want to utilize. When you talk about branding, branding by itself is different from when you have a logo. Branding is a combination of when you have taken all of the things you do to build your company, your reputation, versus just a logo where it just shows you, I can identify who you are. Branding is think of it, building a family versus a logo is just the individual. Here's an example. Here's something they just talked about Josh Roman, interesting enough. Here's one of his companies that we work with, American Dumpster Rentals. So he goes ahead, this is just his logo, but what he does with his logo, takes it and expands it, puts it on his mailbox, puts it on his vehicles, puts it on promotional items, goes out to events. So you build your brand so that it's recognition. There's a reason that Starbucks goes out and sells all these cups. They go sell logo on every single coffee cup, even on the fancy ones. And then there's lines for them at Target if you want to buy them. And it becomes a whole event because you want to start with the logo and build out your brand. You're a transportation company, yes, but what do we also do? We also are a full service. We need it. You need to call us. We could be on demand. We work exclusively in this industry. If you need help with working with this, how can you take that to the next level? People know when they get in your vehicle, there's always going to be certain branded water. There's always going to be certain things that they can associate with a higher level of service than just Joe Schmo running a black car service. In terms of branding, the things that you do is when you build a brand, you're building trust because people like to know who they're working with. When you have a relationship with your clients, they like to know that you're talking to them. I don't want to just pick some guy out of the yellow pages or Google them and say, hey, I hope he's going to be okay. If I'm talking to Michael, I'm talking to Paula, and I say, hey, these people here, Paula's a great girl. I love her. She's always done wonderful and she cares about us. So I can imagine if she invests that much into my personal relationship, how much she's going to invest into my clients or when I have to use her for her professional services. Plus, also, when you're doing your branding, it increases the value of your brand. If you just go out there and you're just operating, you're waiting, sitting there waiting for that phone to ring, that's cool. And if it works for you, great. But what happens when it doesn't ring? What happens when COVID happens? What happens when 2008 happens? We don't know what the future will ever hold. So if you are building your brand, people will trust. They don't have to pick up the phone. Hey, are you still in business? Is this still a number that works? Do you still do transportation? You want them to know that, hey, I'm the guy or the girl that you can call for transportation, and I'm going to give your number out to everyone I know, because that will increase your book of business. Also, what you want to make sure is that you have market difference. When you build your brand, even though we're all in this industry together, you want to make sure that you do stand out a little bit differently. Maybe you have a contract with the Bears, but you don't have a contract and you only do corporate transportation and you do transportation. Show what stands out. Make your brand about what you do, and therefore that'll help your brand stand out. And by building a good brand, builds a good company. And when you have a good company, people love to work for you. There's a reason that the bigger companies have a lot of employees, and even small companies. Even if you're a small operator, 1, 2, 3, 5 cars, that's fine. But you can't do it all yourself. And I'm sure most of you have understood this by now. If you're doing it all yourself, you're working for your business. You're working in your business. You need to work for your business. That's the big difference. And having an employee engagement will help you by having a brand that's recognizable and help your business grow. Ways you could do this: get your visual branding, get it out there, show people what you're doing. Do ads, do Facebook ads, do e-blasts, hit up your entire Constant Contact or MailChimp list. Get out there, do messaging however you can. If you have text messaging options available through your domain, use them. If you have ways, you want to call up Chris at Ship for Driven, you want to call up Paula, you want to call whoever you can to say, hey, I need to get a message out. We're doing a special and I want everyone to be aware of it. But most importantly, when you get it out there, you want to be consistent. You don't want to be, hey, we're the cheap guys and we're the cheapest sales and you don't have to worry about my pricing. And then suddenly you raise your price $200, people are going to go, what's going on? Or if you all of a sudden you're saying, I'm the wedding guy, I'm the wedding guy, go to me for your weddings. And then you sell all your antiques and you don't have any weddings anymore. You don't have any limos. And you're like, I don't really do that service. Just call me. I only do FBOs. You want to make sure what image you're putting out there for your brand stays consistent. Other things that you're talking about when you're doing this branding is that you want to go ahead and give out items to your clients. The reason for this is if you look in your hand right now, is anyone holding a pen? Is anyone using a mouse pad? Look what's on your desk. You say you have different items have a brand on it, that will help you. And I call those life items because when you keep your brand in the client's hands, they will go ahead and have a higher chance of calling you. The reason that you still see Coca-Cola commercials when you go to the movies, you still see Nike ads, they pay billions of dollars for celebrity endorsements on different advertisements for companies like we all know Nike, Burger King, Coca-Cola, Starbucks. We know all those because they're constantly out there. Do they ever need to put out another advertisement and we'll still know who they are? Probably, but the reason they do it is so that you stay in the forefront of their brains. And when you give out an item, you want to make sure you give out something I call a life item versus something that ends up in that junk drawer. If you give me a back scratcher, cool. I use it once. I'm like, this is great. I give it to the kids and they break it and then it ends up in the garbage. Now you just wasted $3 and you got no point, no ROI on this. But if you're giving out items that people will actually utilize in their homes, in their business, in their life, pizza cutters, tape measure, notepads, sanitizers, hats, things like that, tumblers. We all drink coffee or we all drink water to work every day. Why not sit there and get the free advertising, all give somebody at your stuff, and wherever they go, it's with. So that's really the power of swag. So when you're giving your brand, yes, like it costs a little bit, but you need to spend some money to make some money, and that stay in people's homes for you are the cheapest way to get something rather than having to go and pay for a commercial that airs every day and you're not even sure if the TV's on, or you're not even sure if they flip through a magazine, they see it once and that's great. But what if they pick up that pen 50 times, 50 pieces of advertisement for that cost of 60 cents to $2? Printed materials. Now I hear mixed reviews on print materials if they're still relevant in this digital age. Well, that's great. But like I said before, you go out to an event and you meet John and you meet Sally and you come back and you're like, okay. And I tap their phone. They're not on my phone. I don't know who they are. That whole show is just a whirlwind. You want to make that materials you're giving out to say who you are, what you do, and how to reach you. Because making it easier for your clients, as easy as it can be in this world that no one wants to think anymore. You want to make it as simple for them as possible. Here's who I am, and here's what I can do for you. Whether you're out and you're doing a golf event, you're sponsoring a golf outing, and you want to put up signage there. Again, show your logo, show your brand, a picture of your brand, or somehow you incorporate what you do and how to reach you. QR codes are essential. They became very popular during COVID. They were even popular before. But because again, unless you have a 3 to 5 character business name, a lot of people have long names in their companies, and no one wants to sit there and type ABC123 transportation concierge service.com. Especially in this industry, you get hard words in there, concierge, you get chauffeured, you get things that people just don't know how to spell. And if they can't spell it, they can't figure it out, they're not landing on your website. And your website is your lifeline. So you want to make sure is it easy to give that out. Do postcard mailing, do door knockers if you're trying to get in a certain area. You're doing work for a school, you're trying to get contracts for the school, different events like that. Go out and have marketing materials, a marketing kit, things that you can physically leave behind that they can flip through. Because again, websites are great for all of the details, but if you give them something to look at in their hands, they can keep it and it stays on their desk and they can always refer back to it. You're not always, I don't know about you, but I have 1,000 tabs open in my phone. So just because I've been to a website once doesn't mean I'll go back there. But if I need to, I can look for it. But if you have that opportunity to keep something on your desk and get that real estate space, they can go back and they can hand that to their execs or their admins, and they can continue and do all the bookings that you need. When you're doing your branding, whether we do it for you, you do it for yourself, you're hiring Santa Claus, you want to make sure that you're putting out high quality designs. It definitely is when you have cars into the millions of dollars and you're paying insurance into all of these different things, that if you're going to invest all of that capital into your company, I'm just going to have my kids slap this together and throw my logo on it. And you have cars floating on water. You have pictures of people that are cut. Logo is not. You want to make sure the reputation or the foot you're putting forward chain clients. I seen this, it just came out when they were doing the NLA board member elections. out there nice, designed ads. Hey, vote for me. Whether they won or not is not the point, but they were putting out something because they are a representative of their brand. And then I've seen other people that literally slapped something together and was like, this is good enough. And then they paid $1,200 or $1,500 to Chris at Chauffeur Driven to e-blast that out. My theory is if I'm going to be spending $1,500 of my hard-earned capital, I'm going to want at least to put my best foot forward. I wanted to make sure that you look good. I look good because I'm an extension of my brand, and my brand is what I need to make money and live. Other things that you want to make sure is that when you're giving out items, when you're going to different events, what you're doing matches who you're doing it for. And just because you have certain items, they might be universal. Hand sanitizers. Everyone has cooties. They had them before COVID. They have them during COVID. They still have them forever. It's a thing that you'll always have to deal with. Hand sanitizers are fine. You're going out to kids. You're going out to weddings. You're going out to corporate. All of those are great. But if you're doing you're going to a wedding show, you might want to do nail files. You might want to do mirrors. You want to do things that match the target audience. If you're doing high-end executive runs and you're doing airport tarmac pickups and things of that nature, you want to make sure maybe you have neck pillows, maybe you have high-end water bottles, maybe you have Yetis, maybe you have things that match the audience and with which you're trying to get there. And then the more likely you have things for them that match them, and they'll use them. And that keeps your brand in their hand. The other thing that's very important is apparel. I said this before, but it's extremely important that when you're going out, if you're giving out, if you have hoodies, if you have your employees in polos with your logos either printed on them or embroidered or however you want, those are key things to separate when they're standing out there. If they're waiting for your clients to be picked up, other people see them. It shows a little bit of air about that company that says, hey, we invested into our employees. We care. So if they care about their employees, they're going to care about us. And again, too, anyone's wearing a hoodie with your logo on it, anyone's wearing a hat with your logo on it, and they're walking around, that's a whole day of free advertisement. Costs you what, $10 versus having to buy a billboard on the side of the highway, and hopefully people look up at it. Trump, whether you love him or hate him, he ran one of the most amazing promotional item materials out there. You see a red hat, you like it or not, you know it's a MAGA hat, and you know that it is something that's out there and that promoted his brand. And that is something that he was able to do because he just wanted somehow, some way to get people's attention and to get people to feel like they're part of his brand. So whether it be for bags, whether it be for totes, lunch boxes, things that are all, and those are all different items that you can go ahead and utilize to get your brand out there. Digital marketing. Digital marketing is also huge. So just because you're getting out there and you're shaking hands and kissing babies and all the things that you need to do, you want to make sure you're getting digitally. About you, but I spend hours on my cell phone every day. Get out there. But if I'm on there and you're sending out messages on constant contact, you're going ahead and that's functional and not aggravating to utilize. Key thing there. And if you're putting out different ads, if you send them out to SEOs, social medias, things like that, even if you have a kid or you have a young employee, use them to make have them make a TikTok while it's still here or any other opportunity to go ahead and just get out there because you want to have your brand accessible and out there as many times as possible. You see something enough times, you start inquiring about it and you want to know about it. And therefore, then you have a higher chance of converting it into a sale. This holiday season is definitely something that you want to be thankful. You work very hard for everything you've had and everything you've earned this year. Your clients have done the same for their business. Because they are your clients, especially your bigger clients, you want to do something where you can say thank you. You know, just it's what doesn't have to be buying them a card, doesn't have to be something crazy. It could be something as small as sending a thank you card, a custom holiday card, something of that magnitude. Or you can say, hey, you know, I'm doing a box of chocolates. I'm chocolate with my logo on it so that when they take that, you send that to the admin and you can possibly even send one to the CEO as well. But whoever does the bookings, whoever works with you, that's who you want to befriend. That's who you want to stay in touch with. Those are the people that are keeping the money coming towards you. And just because Nicole owns the company, that's great. But is Nicole a hands-off owner? You don't know that unless you know that company when you're working with. You want to work with the people who are working with you. So if you give them something, an end of the year item that just says, hey, we're thinking about you. Hey, thank you for your business. This is the season to go ahead. You can build your reputation and ensure that you're going to have that book of business with them next year. That's something that's always great to do. And it's also nice. It's the end of the holiday season. People will remember, oh, for Christmas last year, I got those hats from A1A, or I got the chocolates from Windy City. I got from where you're going and what you're doing, and they talk about who you are. Those give you the opportunity, and that it's more people, more word of mouth to say, hey, I love that company. I remember that company. They're more than just give me your money and is your credit card good? You want to build that brand again, not just who you are, not just ring the register, but if you build the brand, all of that will come with. And the other thing that we do want to just think ahead about is chauffeur driven. Chauffeur driven's coming up really fast. It's early this year. It's in the third week of February, that last week of February. So keep in mind, if you're going to the show, start preparing now. Few things. If you're not aware, if you're ordering items, if you don't have anything you need, Chinese New Year is coming up. That means China, a lot of stuff coming in from overseas is going to be shut down for 2 weeks. So therefore, that limits the time frame that you have to get stuff. Don't wait until Christmas Eve, as I say, to go shopping for Christmas Day. Don't wait till the week before Chauffeur Driven to try to say, oh, I need this. Oh, we can do that. Don't get me wrong. We're great here at Create a Card. We can do almost anything, but the elves are still probably going to be at the North Pole recovering. So it's going to be a hard time to get you something within 24-hour turnaround for a show. If you go ahead and you think ahead now, what do I need? What's coming up? Especially, who knows what's going on with these impending tariffs? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to happen. And if it does, prices of things could double, if not be up quite more than what we're paying now. So it could be a wise investment to stock up at this time of the year, stock up when you come back on the 1st, and start getting ready for all the things you need. So this way, you have, what you need, and you can utilize it now. And even if you get it and you don't use it all at the show, you could still use it elsewhere in your business to brand your business. You want to make sure you don't get lost in that crowd. I do highly recommend, if you haven't done it so far and you do affiliate work, check out the Affiliate Central. Either go get yourself a table or go definitely visit it at the event. Event started so small. It was just a couple of tables, and I've watched it grow and grow and grow to the point that it's fantastic. You don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know who to call. I'm going to lose that job over there. I'm only going to take him to the airport in Chicago. Why? If you can get the wholesale, might as well get the wholesale. Just raise that cost, raise that money from your client, and you can just enjoy that extra capital. If you have an affiliate relationship, this is a great place to go and meet them. But again, remember, if you are going there and you are exhibiting, or you're going to have a table or something like that, you want your table to look its best. If you look at these tables here, Burton, they're orange, their color is bright. They are a bright brand, and they started as a very, very small company in New Orleans. They now got boots on the ground in 6 different cities, which is wonderful. And they're orange, they're bright. You walk over, you see them. They're not just going to get sucked into, it's a black tablecloth and I'm here and I'm super corporate. You need a gimmick, you need something. The same way you need it for sales, you're selling to the industry. You know what you like, you know what you're looking for. You're in this industry. Don't get lost in the crowd. So make sure you have stuff that definitely can stand out. That's what my thought is. Those are my ideas of branding and marketing. I'm always available. If you need to reach out to me, there's a QR code. You can scan that. It goes to our website. You can always call me or email me. I'm glad to help you out however we can. And like I said, please do yourself the best favor and think now. Don't think when it's too late. Have your stuff that you need when you need it, or before you need it, rather than when you're going, oh, I'm running out the door and I don't have business cards. I hear it all the time, and I'm just trying to help you guys make the most money you can by building the best brands you can possibly have. Thank you.
So Drew, you and I had this conversation last week, and it might be worth sharing it again about what is so important to have on business cards. Because going to these shows, as you and I both know, sometimes people don't put the city they're from, they don't put a lot of detail. Um, and and definitely many people don't put their picture. But can you share and elaborate a little bit on what you generally recommend for someone who's trying to get an enhanced business card for these shows?
So a lot of people anyone can go get a business card anywhere or do anything, and that's fine. But what the difference is that when you go ahead and you're trying to run a luxury company, you're not trying to be an Uber, you're not trying to be just Joe Schmo that's going to get written up on a mom's group. Oh, I can do an airport run for $75. Yeah, can't even pay the insurance for that much. So you want to make sure that your brand matches out. So on your business card, for example, this is my business. Oh, is it going to work? Here it is. This is my business card here. On my business card, it shows my logo nice and big, clear and legible. It also shows my photo because again, as you're going around, you want to make sure that people know who you are and associate you with the brand. Your name should be clear on that. Things on your business card you have to have, and I can't tell you how many people don't put all of this on there. Your name, what you do, your title, how to reach you. That includes a phone number. If it's your personal card and you want to put your cell phone on there, great. Is it required? No, but a lot of people love to text, especially this younger generation that is out there and they're coming in and they don't like. If you have a number for your company that has text messaging capabilities, put the phone number there and write the word text us right next to it. You do want to make sure your email is there and your website is there. If you have opportunities and there's space still on the card, throw your social media handles out there. Because again, we all sit on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever you're on. You want to make sure that they can find you and they know who you are. So when this card comes home, they know, hey, this is everything I need to know. It's like the cliff notes of your company, but it also will match your branding. It'll match all of your other marketing materials. You don't want just, oh, I slap something on there and I'm good. So I've seen quite a few companies that make business cards and they don't give you a backside. I don't understand why. Like there's there's two sides of a business card.
I know.
Creative says, go ahead. We're gonna give all of your real estate space. It's like hiring a limo and telling them you can only sit in the two captain chairs in the back. What's the purpose of that? They're not the president. It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. So you want to make sure you have everything on there that people can contact you. The other key thing for especially for this industry, and especially if you're going to and write where you're from. Make sure. So I would write, I service or where you service. I service the Chicago area. I service um, Indiana border. I service all of these areas. Whatever you do, wherever you have boots on the ground, that's what you want to have on your affiliate card. And it may be wise to have. You may have a card that you give out at industry events that says, we service this and have all your different airport codes that you work at. And then you have another card that you just give out to anyone you meet, not necessarily in the limo industry or the transportation industry. That's if you give them out to anyone, anywhere, and you have them in your back pocket at all times.
Paula, can I add something?
Sure.
So, someone being that I collect these cards as well, and a third of my business is outgoing affiliate work. That's the biggest pet peeve I have with these shows. If I don't see your airport code, at least where you're at, everybody's worldwide now. So, yeah,
Amazing.
I mean, if I have to go looking for it, it's not worth my hassle. And then the other one is these odd shaped cards. They try to be fancy and different. I have an old school Rolodex. Okay, it's hard to see it, but if it doesn't fit in my little thing, unless you really stood out, it's going in the trash. It's just I don't have time for it. So, but the biggest pet peeve is the area because I have everything separated into NLA regions within that binder, and if I got to go searching for you, because if I need to find somebody, it's a lot easier to flip through, boom, 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 and I have them set up by city. It makes things that much easier. So,
Yeah.
just my 2 cents.
No, I agree. I mean, this last event, I threw away probably 30% of the cards because it didn't even have a name on them. And I could not fit. I mean, I met so many people at the last show that I really had to stop and think. A couple of them I remembered by the company name, but they didn't have their name on them
Yeah,
or,
the size, the size. It's a European thing too. A lot of the guys overseas, theirs is a little bigger. I'll trim that, but
yeah, that doesn't bother me as
but the
much.
ones that are like the square or the round one, you know what? It's not. Same like you said too. I got probably 3 or 4 different cards. One for an industry, one for networking, one for just phone that I use if I have, if I'm working for an affiliate that's got no branding, just my name and phone number. So I've, multiple cards. So
I mean, I have two cards. So one for clients and one for affiliates. So when I go to the affiliate shows, I have a separate card because there's information for affiliates that I'm not going to put on a general business card,
Right.
and our pictures on it, and all that good stuff. I think, like Drew gave you a lot of good ideas, but let's get started with at least your identity and move into the branding because you got to get your identity sorted. It's
The, the
important.
other the other key thing is this, I can't tell you how important it is to have your email on your cards. I've got literally, I was at the show and I was taking orders from people and they're saying, all right, just email me this, get back in touch with me. And they have just they either have an Instagram handle, but they have no email, they have no contact, they don't even have the name. It's just ABC Limo, whatever it is. And it's
Yeah, I know.
get in
Um,
contact with you. How do I set you up on Limo Anywhere or ground widgets or anything else that I need to use?
yeah, exactly.
I put associations too for the so that or the card within the industry for. I mean, for I've got the NLA, my local association here in Cleveland. I got this association, the ILLBA. Then I was part of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses, so I have that on there. PAC show for training. And then I took it off, but I used to have another card, Limo Anywhere. It was, just the
Yeah.
logo, Limo Anywhere, so advanced. They don't have to search for me. But
So
yeah,
that's just knowing who you're giving your card out to. That's why those multiple sets of cards are really sometimes essential because not everyone needs to know everything. If you're at a wedding show, no one needs to know that you're on Limo Anywhere. No one needs to know that
right,
you're
right.
this or that. But if you're targeting a certain market and you're at the CDNLA show, hey, I'm an association member. Hey, I have access to these systems. Hey, and this is where you can reach me. I'm not even if you're a small company, even if you're a one car operator, again, showing who you are and what you're part of and how to reach you makes life real simple for everyone else to work with you and grow your business.
I see Vicky's comment is pretty spot on too. Don't make the font size too small. I need a
Yeah.
magnifying glass to read the information.
It,
It's
it
it's
is a
not an
business.
age thing, Vicky. It's just you're right. Some of it is really tiny.
People tend to forget that they are a business card. They're only 2 by 3.5 inches. People love to try to fit an entire encyclopedia on a business card. I go, well, that's great. Remember, it's the cliff notes of your company, how to reach me, what I do, and then I can give you need more information. I'll give you a postcard, I'll give you a rack card, I'll give you a trifold, I'll give you a marketing kit. Go to my website if I don't want to do anything else. But
Right.
just the cliff notes, and if you put too much in there, it'll be too overwhelming for people and they get really anxiety will kick in and they won't even look at it.
Well, I think this was a great discussion. Does anybody
Hey,
have
Drew.
any questions for Drew?
Uh,
Oh,
uh, this is Travis. Hey, Drew, how
Hey,
are
how
you?
are you, buddy?
Good. If you had, based on your experience, if you could only pick one piece of swag or tchotchke to give to someone that will enable them to remember you and your business, what item would that be?
Where are you giving it out at?
Let's say a business expo.
So if you're giving out something at a business expo, so you think about number one thing you could do is you're shaking hands all the time. So if you do some sort of hand sanitizer, you do some sort of mints, things like that. If if you're at a networking event, the last thing you want to do is be getting gross hands or be germy or have bad breath. So that if you're at a networking event, those are great items. Another great item that could also be universally applied, I would say, is microfiber cloths. Because we all have cell phones, we all have computers, we all have our navigation screens in our cars. You can take those, and then not only will you use them on your person, but you'll keep them. They're easy to fit in pocketbooks, they're easy to fit in men's pockets, and you can use them anywhere.
I'll chip in a good quality pen. You can pass them out. Hey, can I borrow your pen? Yeah, sure, you can keep it. And then make sure it has a stylus. I can't tell you how many times I get compliments on the pen I have, and even at the industry shows, I pass a ton out. The pens. I mean, they're inexpensive, but get a quality one. Don't get a shitty old Bic pen with your logo on the side. I can't tell you how many pens I throw out from the shows, but there's a lot of pens. And then another one I find is very good is lip balm.
Mhm.
So lip balm, chapstick, whatever you want to call it. My guy calls it lip balm. He
right.
gets upset. It's lip balm, not chapstick. But anyways, and we're all driving people around. Some people tend to get car sick. I get a peppermint lip balm. That way, if they get car sick, if you smell it, or they can rub it on the upper part of their lip and they constantly smell it, peppermint's supposed to ease that car sickness. So that's just another good thing. And lip balm is very, very inexpensive. So
That's wise. It shows that you're investing and you care about your clients, not just here's something to take back in a marketing thing, but it's
right.
I care about you, which is a nice touch.
Yeah, the other ones are great too. I have no problem with that. I found really good I found really good success with the lip balm and the pen. In fact, I just by you said talking about the Chinese New Year's, I'm like, oh shit! I just reached out to my guy that I deal with all the time. And I said I need to restock. So yeah, but yeah, okay, my 2 cents is done.
The other thing too is, Travis, that if you're going to events, also if you're going to a regular networking event, maybe a local event or Chamber of Commerce, that's a different networking event than maybe if you're at MIBA over in Dubai, or if you're over at some NBAA event. Those you're going to be working with higher end, higher net worth individuals. So you might not be wanting to give out a pen, a microfiber, something cheap. You might want to invest in a little bit more. You might want to upgrade to a power bank. You might want to upgrade to different charging cables or things like that. Again, it's all about knowing your audience, doing a journal, doing something that they can utilize as a life item, but is a little bit higher. You don't have to break the bank, but something that you can utilize that shows a little bit more worth, because again, everything you give out is an extension of your brand.
Vicky, when I'm yes.
Just a small idea, in my previous life, we would have multiple layers of promo items at shows. We would have the regular stuff for the people who are just trick or treating and coming and collecting stuff for their office, but then we would have more of the high end stuff underneath the table. So when you had that special client come by, you could pull that out and give that to them. That actually, I think, is twofold. It's more meaningful. You're putting the right product in the right prospect or client's hands, but then they also know they're getting something that you're not giving away to everybody too. So, and you don't need near as many of them.
Yeah, the scoopers versus handing out an item is a big difference. And again, like you just said, Vicky, you don't need to order 100 wireless chargers if you want to give out 50 of them, because you're trying to build 50 sincere relationships that could be very profitable for you. And everyone else can take your low budget items.
Or order them in the higher quantities to get the volume discount, and just then you've got them for a number of different shows.
Correct.
Any other questions, guys?
Well, if Kirk is saying something, he's muted.
I'm sorry. Is he talking?
Sorry, I muted myself.
I
I was just saying, I pass out
Thank you.
good quality hats. At like two years ago at a show, at the Vegas show, good quality hats I passed out. I mean, to the top affiliates that I deal with, just sort of a thank you. But that's another one that irks me, because people pass out at these shows shitty, cheap stuff, and we're supposed to, like you said, in the luxury ground transportation, and they pass out a hat that looks like their mom ironed on the logo on the front of it, and it doesn't match. The patch doesn't match the hat. The hat's bad quality to begin with. So I used to have an example, but I think I finally threw it out. The hat, it was still in the bag and whole 9 yards, but of the cheap hat, but not the good hat.
So there was an event, a giveaway that took place back in the 70s that people talk about on a regular basis. And I mean, it's something that we could all think about doing. It was right around Thanksgiving. There was a news station that, I mean, they gave away turkeys. They dropped them from a helicopter.
Oh, jeez. Lord. I don't know.
I watch that flick every Thanksgiving. That one cracks me up still.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
it
still talking
cracks
about
me up too.
we're still talking about it 45 years later. I mean, you know, you want to talk about making an impact. That is one giveaway that I
Oh,
mean,
Lord.
people remember. Drew, can we get some branded turkeys?
We can
Les
figure it out.
Nessman, your father?
We could definitely figure something out. You know, we could always make that work. If not, you put a little t-shirt on a turkey and drop the turkey, and then they could keep the t-shirt.
There you go.
It's 2-for-1 special. And again, too, just because you're going stuff, you don't need to buy. There's a lot of times if you're looking for items, you may just need them for a small event. You may want them for 1,000 of them, but you don't need 1,000 right now. If you're looking for something small, you need low quantities. There are options out there. We just set up a whole bunch of custom websites. If you want one, feel free to reach out for clients, for any of our clients who want to order minimum quantity of one on shirts, hats, mugs, polos, zip ups, hoodies, things like that. So we're setting that up and people are ordering them because they said, I only need to get one right now. I only need two. Let me see what it's like. Especially it's great for small operators. You don't want to order 25. You may be stuck. I don't have 25 people on my staff. So if you need low quantities of stuff, there are options out there available for you. And again, like Vicky said, though, to have order now and have throughout the year, just back up so you have it before you need it is essential too as well.
I found a good quality luggage tag is good too. So you pass them out to your chauffeurs and let them know, hey, if you're taking people to the airport and you're taking their luggage out of the cart, it doesn't have a tag, offer to give them a tag. They love it. So
Okay, I'm going to make a comment about that because
I don't know
the
them.
company that did the luggage handles, the Velcro luggage handles,
Yes.
and um, apparently what they would do was they would just go ahead and put these luggage handles on their clients' luggage. And quite honestly, that really upset several of the clients. And every time they put one on, they would immediately rip it off. And I think I mean, you, I would say offer it, don't do it.
No, that's what I said. I've offered it. I'm not saying
Yeah, no, I
it.
I mean, there was a company that did that, and that was, when they see their bag, the first that, it has that luggage handle on it, the first thing they do is they rip it off and they throw it away. It says, I wish they'd stop doing it. Please do not, don't do this.
Yeah.
So you do have to be kind of cognizant about what you are giving away and don't force it on someone. I mean, Drew, you had brought up breath mints. And admittedly, that's kind of for me, that's somewhat of a touchy subject to hand out because I don't want it to be implied the wrong way. Here's some breath mints, as in your breath smells bad, and that's nothing that is personal to me. It's just someone I used to work with back in the past that he took great offense to it because, well, he drank a lot of coffee and knew that his breath wasn't always the best smelling as a result of his coffee habit.
But if you're at a luncheon or something like that, or you're sponsoring a luncheon, or you're going to different things like that, everyone at the end of a meal, it's not attacking anyone individually. It is something you could just drop out, and that for everyone, because we don't get the
Yeah.
opportunity to brush your teeth after that. That's a way you can utilize that without being offensive.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, it is certain things. There's a time and a place. Is ultimately what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions for Drew? All right. Hey, Drew, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And
It's great.
he put his contact info there. I'll make sure I put it when we put out the video. Um, all right. You're welcome to stay. We're just going to talk for a couple of minutes about what's coming. There's not many people on here, so we'll we'll make it quick. So in January on the 21st will be our annual our New Year event. It's going to be at Carlucci in Rosemont like it was last year. And the registration for the event will be coming out in the next day or two. It's our most people celebrate the holiday event in December, but we wanted to be different. We like to do it in January, when everybody's past the holidays and can relax, and we're still a bit slow. It's a great restaurant, great meal. We had a great time last year, so I hope everybody can join us. And that's pretty much it. Also, for any of our folks who are on here and have never been to a CD or an LA show, the scholarship for the Vegas show has opened up, and I would encourage you strongly, if you've never been to a show, to consider applying for the scholarship. The qualifications are online. We'll be sending them out again to everyone as well. What's great about it is that you get, if you're selected, you will get the hotel, and I believe the show will be paid for. All you're paying for is your airfare. You will be uh, have a great opportunity to actually attend a show for the first time. And we have many members in our group who have won the scholarship, including me and Jim Jordan, who left. quite a few of our members have actually won. So if you need any help with that or have a question about it, let me know or any of the board, and we will help you through it. All right. All right. I think we're done for today. Any other questions, thoughts? All right. I really appreciate everyone's time today and have a wonderful holiday. And I will have the 2025 schedule for the coffee meetings out probably after the new year. If you have any suggestions on topics, I'm happy to hear what they are, and we will put them out there.
ASCAP fees.
Huh?
ASCAP fees.
Oh, I thought you were going to say time zones or something like you usually do.
No, we can talk.
Bye.
Now we can talk about time zones and how that really
No,
could.
no, 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 we're not doing that. Okay. All
That
right.
was a life. That was a life endangering event because people didn't understand time zones.
I know. Well, we're not doing that. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have
Happy
a great.
holidays.
Thank you, Drew, for your time. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.